Hey guys, I just wanted to do my reaction video to The Gifted, the 2-hour season finale, episodes 12 and 13, respectively titled Extraction. So this is going to be where, okay, the Mutant Underground has developed a reluctant alliance with the help of the three Frost sisters, Phoebe, Sophie, and Esme. I think are the three of the Cuckoo sisters they're using from the comic books. If I'm not mistaken. So basically, they're teaming up and they're considering their fight against Dr. Campbell. This Cuckoo sisters being the most hell bent on wanting to get to Dr. Campbell. He looks like he's going to go to some, I guess, like a convention or to try to get his Hound program support from DC, and so they're going to try to stop the whole thing. And I know there's a lot of hype behind it, saying that there's going to be a huge turning point for the series and the characters, as naturally as most season finales should be. So I'm interested to see, how things from all season have built up and are going to come to a head. And again, one other thing, this was a 2-hour finale. I can only put up so much footage just because restrictions on YouTube and not wanting to get this thing blocked. So this video will be edited to help just include the major parts of it.
Oh, no, you're not. Your lung capacity's down 30%. You need to talk to your doctor.
It's not the doctors, Rod. I'm running out of time here.
Hey, don't talk like that.
It's the truth.
Come on.
Doctors told Mama CF would kill me before I hit 40. I'm already bucking the odds here.
Okay. Just calm down.
Go. You're already late, bro. Just go. I'll be fine.
For the last 2 million years, Homo sapiens weren't the only species of human. The Neanderthals, stronger than we are, had better resistance to cold, and contrary to conventional wisdom, even had bigger brains. So how did we stop them from taking over the planet? Why am I up here talking to you instead of some fellow with a double-arched brow ridge? Because genetics don't have to be destiny. We work together. We out-communicated the Neanderthals. We built societies to defend each other and literally wipe our enemies off the face of the earth. They had stronger genes, no doubt about it, but we managed to level the playing field. And now, once again, Mother Nature has rolled the evolutionary dice and created a new breed with powerful mutations and abilities. Some among us worry that we're in danger of extinction. Well, they're right to worry, but we don't have to succumb to the cosmic injustice of genetics. This time, we can harness the power of science for ourselves, but if, and only if, we have the courage to stand together as a species.
Some mutants who were pushing back, and it turned out that they were a part of the Brotherhood.
You joined the Brotherhood?
I didn't join anything. I helped them with a few things, and when they asked me to do stuff I wasn't down for, I bailed.
Why didn't you tell us?
Sage asked me what I was arrested for. Nothing I did with them.
That's not how it works, and you know it.
I know I shouldn't have worked with them.
You know, when you ran off, and I went to look for you, I did that because I thought you were one of us.
Marcos is a former cartel member, for crying out
Maybe I was wrong.
loud. Come on, man.
Emily's past made me one too. It took me too long to realize that a tiny speck of DNA, it doesn't take charge of who you are.
Really hope you realized that sooner than I did.
You weren't. I should have been more honest about
It doesn't
my past.
matter. It doesn't matter. What matters is who you are now.
Okay, this is appreciated.
that you're one of us.
Now that felt real.
Yeah, sure. His girlfriend just died, but yeah, let's do that.
Okay, stop. You attacked those agents.
They were gonna shoot us. I stopped them and we got away.
You almost killed that guy.
Yeah, keyword almost.
Guys, I don't know what's going on, but we need to stick together as a family right now.
Tell her that, not me.
What?
Last time I checked, I'm the one person in this family who's actually proud to be a Von Strucker.
Okay, somebody's channeling their inner Magneto. Oh, that guy who did. Oh, jeez.
We're under attack. We're under attack. Just stay with me. We don't want anyone to get hurt. Get back in the elevator. Hurry! Get back in the elevator. You don't move, Sunshine.
Behind you!
That is messed up.
Get us out of here!
Come in. Someone screwed up. You do realize this is a mental hospital, right?
Well, maybe they see something in you that you don't. You think you're the only one with demons inside you, Miss Dane? We all have them. It's what you do with them that matters. Maybe we can barely protect ourselves.
Frost sisters are checking all the airports in the area, but Campbell's gonna be ready now. We're looking at a full-on assault. Babe, maybe we should get out.
Medallion for your 13th birthday. All he ever wanted was for you to be proud of who you are. You know what has to be done here, don't you?
Advance! Now! Go!
All right.
We got gunshots at the center window. Mutants on the left and right.
Whoa.
Everybody out! Everybody out now! Fall back! Fall back! Go, 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 go!
This is your pilot. Please fasten your seatbelts. We're experiencing engine trouble. Prepare for emergency landing.
What the hell is going on?
For emergency landing.
Don't do it! No, no, no! I sacrificed everything for this agency.
I suggest you calm down.
I don't need your damn suggestions. While you cowards sit here covering your asses. Real people are dying out there. Our country, our species is under attack. I'm gonna play your little bureaucratic games. You go right ahead. You can do it without me. I quit.
Agent Turner.
Sage.
Sorry, John. They ended the Hound program. This is just about survival.
times.
You've got to be kidding me.
No. No way.
Andy, stay where you are. You are not taking our son.
They're not taking me. It's my decision. This thing they're trying to rebuild, the Hellfire Club, it's something that our family was a part of. You're the one who's always talking about helping people.
War between humans and mutants isn't helping anyone.
I can't let you do this. No, don't.
So, holy crap. I think they really did I would say this. I think the episode did I guess the one thing I didn't care for in this episode was all the stuff about Campbell lobbying with all the other senators and trying to kiss up to them and just trying to get his program off the ground. Like the fact they actually showed so much footage, like juxtaposed with the any other like drama going on with the actual mutants, I didn't really care for. I didn't realize they spent so much time on it, and I guess it's supposed to show like how bad these people are, but it's just I was incredibly bored with it and did not care for it. And I don't know, I was just surprised that a character named Senator Montez, who as a person of color, you would think that he would have a little bit more empathy for mutants, as opposed slightly more empathy for them, as opposed to looking at all of them as bad apples. I mean, and the thing that I don't know. I guess like it was interesting, surprising that they were actually going to give Campbell any kind of backstory about his brother's illness, being the reason why he wants to being the reason is like why. I guess the whole angle is it was sad about what happened to his brother, and he was. I guess he's like studies genes and genetic mutations, and you would kind of think like why why would he go from that to wanting to help like exterminate and experiment on mutants? It kind of makes you wonder. I mean, I guess it was supposed to be like I guess like an envy. I guess something of envy. Like why does he? Why does his brother? Why do certain genes give these people all these amazing gifts, and then the genes that my brother has like cause him this illness that allowed him to die. So I guess like I don't know. I guess like him. I don't know. Maybe if they weren't so vague about him just trying to like. I don't know. I guess maybe they could have gone into more explanation about how he's kind of like this geneticist, and maybe they could have been like, it could have been like the show's equivalent of Mr. Sinister, and like kind of go for I guess like draw. I guess they were trying to draw from that. Maybe they could have drawn from more. It's debatable. Maybe it's debatable. I mean, Andy's mentality. I feel like I said earlier, he was totally channeling like his inner Magneto and like becoming more. And like the scene where they had to go to that insurance company to warn their grandmother about Trask Industries hunting them down, or anybody who's affiliated with Otto Strucker. And the whole confrontation between Laura and Andy, where they try to use their powers on one another, was like I didn't think it would come to a head. And at first, like when they were trying to fight off the mutant underground. When they found when the Sentinel services actually found their location, that that Andy was finally it's almost you can tell that Andy was like you felt like his dad, Andy, all the music found some kind of common ground all of a sudden, and maybe he was going to be less conflicted as Lorna. You can tell that you guys have been building up over several episodes, and how much they've been, Eclipse and her have been fighting about, the different ideology. There's different ideologies. Like, Eclipse, they're both, Eclipse is right. Like, the more militant they become and more willing they are to kill, the more it's just gonna provide cannon fodder for all the, it just provides more cannon fodder for all the anti-mutant sentiment that's in their world. But at the same time, I can tell that she's so, like, just jaded and just, like, frustrated, and, her experiences, her fear for her kid, and just being in prison and being hunted constantly, like, she just doesn't want to feel like a victim. She's at this point where it's, like, I guess, like, she's at the point where she's just tired of feeling like being a fugitive and a victim, and like, like she said, it's like time to make a new world, time to make a change. And it was still, knowing that she was gonna leave, it was still pretty shocking for her to. It's still kind of a jaw dropping. So you're like cross that line where it's like she brought down the plane and killed Senator Montez and Dr. Campbell. And which kind of makes me real, and also the scene where the Jace Turner was being like the senator he was working directly for was going to try to use him as a scapegoat for the assassination and the failed attempt to capture the mutants. Just shows that he'd become like fed up with all of with all the government bureaucracy and just all the like I said, like all this. He's tired. Like he's also become like kind of weary and just like I guess battle worn, for lack of better terms, about like just all this losses he suffered, and like the loss of his partner, loss of his daughter, having his memories messed with, and having to go through the grief of losing his daughter twice, and now it's just. And the apathy of the government is willing to blame him for what he's done. That it's just like, you know what, I'm finished. Like, I'm just not going to be a part of this anymore. Which it feels like. I didn't expect that this kid. I don't know. He's not a character who definitely doesn't deserve to be killed off. But the fact that he just wants to turn his badge over and just feels like the fight's not worth it anymore. It'll be interesting. Like. I don't know, maybe they'll do something like they'll take on like another career outside of going to like maybe like private security, or just like take another job outside of the government and somehow be dragged back into it. Because it seems like, if anything, he might be a recurring character, like if at best at this point, because I don't know, because it seems like a lot of the major villainous organization says, except for the Hellfire Club, are kind of like off the table at this point. Well, I guess they still have to deal with Sentinel Services, even with Turner no longer being an agent there. So I'm kind of wondering like what agents who's gonna like step up to replace him, and it kind of feels like it can go down this trope of him being either more like one note and evil, like than Jace Turner, or. I feel like, if anything, they might just replace the character with like another agent who's like heading up the search for the hunt for all these mutants. But it's also a question of like how they're going to differentiate him from Jace Turner, because it'll be impossible to compare the two. And also, and like I said, I just wish that they would. I know it's a comic book thing. I didn't read much comic books with. That many comic books with the Cuckoo Sisters, but I said this before in a video, and I read in the comments section for a previous reaction video. I would prefer that they maybe have them do something that makes have the three sisters like differentiate themselves, at least like change their wardrobe or something, because apparently like. I guess whenever like the three of them are in the room or something, or I guess whenever it's like two of them, there's like two of them in the room, is always like I guess Phoebe and Sophie, but whatever Samuel Schuyler having a one-on-one conversation with one of the other I guess just one of the other like Mutant Underground members. It's just supposed to be Esme, but I just kind of wish they would kind of just differentiate their personalities, especially if they're Schuyler Samuels has described the three as like it's a Freudian trio, like one being the id, one Esme being the ego, and the other being the super ego. So I just like to see that come across as more on screen and it'll make the characters a little bit more nuanced. But yeah, I mean, they really had this like they really portray the whole inner conflict with her like very well, with I guess like a Clarice and Marcos trying to reason with her and telling her that they got to have faith and that her genes don't make her determine who she is. And then you have but then you have like Esme or like the Frost sisters who are able to get into her head, both with their powers and just with her words, and just say this and just kind of play off of her, and also just be able to use both to manipulate her into giving into her more like I guess primal urges, and just to I mean, you can tell like she had, and just realize that like the medallion she got from Magneto, like it just looked like resembled like the helmet and something that would be like off his own costume. And it was interesting to see in that flashback when she was in the mental institution and getting recruited into the Mutant Underground to be a co-founder. It's like, oh, we all have our inner demons, and then like the woman like turning her arm into like a demon, having like claws, like a demon-like arm. It was like it's a little bit on the nose, but it kind of makes you wonder like if the character was just there to recruit her, or is gonna like show up again, have any significant role. And with like I said, like I don't know, they become first. I found they become like. I feel like how the Cuckoo Sisters have caused this like schism within the Mutant Underground, and to the point where like members have been able to they've actually been able to gain more members to join them. I mean, granted, they haven't gotten the entire Mutant Underground on their side, but they got like enough people, enough important people, like heavy hitters. Like they have Fade, they got Andy, who's pretty powerful on his own, who they got Polaris, so it kind of puts them. It does. I mean, I get like. I mean, at least it doesn't put the Strucker siblings in a kind of and give them this like story breaking power where it's like, oh, they're super powerful and they're like they can get out of any situation. So now it's like now that they're both on opposite factions, they're both. It kind of puts them. It kind of evens the playing field for both Hellfire Club and the Mutant Underground, and it kind of reminds me of, I guess, like X-Men comic book, especially the mini. I guess like the limited series like Schism, and also which led to two factions of the X-Men splitting up. One that went back to I guess Charles Xavier's school in Westchester, the one that was out in off the coast of San Francisco Bay, the Utopia base, and how that was led by Cyclops and how he became more militant like Magneto, and Wolverine just being with the more like Professor X. I guess they're trying to take not the result here. I guess at least taking more after Professor X and taking after his memory and not resort to violence as his first and killing as his first resort, and just trying to at least I guess not become like I mean, I wouldn't say like it's hard to see like Wolverine as like the mutant, a Martin Luther King esque mutant type of figure, but just not be like Magneto. But this is just what it reminded me of, and I mean the thing that I was weird was Clarice like making out, kissing Thunderbird, which is that was like okay, he just like Sonya was just Dreamer was just like just killed off. I don't think he's like really that soon to have them in like a relationship, and it just seemed kind of like rushed and I feel like it's just like I mean I guess she had like the whole like fake memory implanted from Sonya, but still it was just like kind of it just felt kind of forced, and also the fact that Sage being one of the people who joined the Hellfire Club during that last scene. That I don't know. I think they're just trying to like. I feel like they just picked the showrunners to pick like just hey, let's just have like just a bunch of random people from Mutant Underground just join, like regardless of whether we set their motivation. We just had to have people like just show that they're disenchanted with Mutant Underground and that the ideals they're trying to carry on for the X-Men just aren't cutting it, and just so like what, we're just gonna join these guys and just go. It's got to be a fight for survival now at this point. Sage being the one who seemed the most sudden, Andy and Lorna, that was the one that had like the most build up and seemed like it was kind of the one that had the most inevitable, but it also creates an interesting dynamic. It puts like Eclipse and Polaris in kind of Professor X and Magneto position dynamic, but the thing is that they're both gonna they're both gonna be parents, but the thing is that now it's like another. So now for Marco's like he just lost his family. He's lost multiple people he's cared about from working the drug cartel, and then he's lost his own family with Lorna, and now his kid. Now it's the fact that that she's crossed this line, and now it's like I guess now he has to worry about like what kind of influence that Polaris is going to be on their kid, just because now she's taking their side. And you know what? I'm just going to take the more going to be my father's daughter, pretty much. And now she has like all these like chains and leather jacket and the black to reflect how Magneto was the Black King of the Hellfire Club, and I guess apparently the chains to be able to use her powers help her mimic flight, like in that flashback which he was first making out with Marcos. But yeah, it was just like it was a pretty good finale. It just had like some really slow parts I just didn't care for, and now he's actually just went from just like hating and just being annoyed by the Frost sisters just to becoming villains than more that there's like intrigued by and just love to hate. You know what I mean? And now now it makes me wonder, like, is it going to be more about how much focus is it going to be about like being on the run, like trying to extract somebody, find humans versus mutants? Is it going to be more of one mutant faction versus another faction, like in the movies, like with the Brotherhood and the X-Men, or just the franchise as a whole? Like, I mean, everything's kind of up in the air. Like this is. I mean, the show's probably not going to come back until like later this fall, if till maybe like September or October. So who knows, like what comes next? But what are your guys' fan theories for season 2? What do you think of season 1? I thought it was a pretty solid season. I liked how it focused on a lot of more unknowns and side characters that aren't in the movies, gave them their chance to shine, and also And help develop, like, it's not just about, prejudice is wrong, you need to live together in peace. It's just about, the philosophy of, like, how you go about this, how they go about this, the interpersonal drama between the team, which is something that was happening, like I said, in X-Men with, Schism, with, all new X-Men and Wolverine and the X-Men prior to Secret Wars 2, the 2 comic series. But yeah, this is, I think this is also the reason why I think there are more like hardcore comic book fans who probably like this series more than the movies. And I appreciate that Matt Nix is a fan of both the movies and the comic books, so he's able to, create something that appeals to everybody. So kudos to him. But what do you guys think of season 1? What are your theories for season 2? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. If you like this video, like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.